Hey HBs, we're here for Heaving Bosoms Ask a Badass, the segment where you get to hear from some of our amazing listeners. Make sure to tune in on Monday, November 25th for Thanksgiving by Janet Evanovich. It's a book that we wanted to love, but ended up just loving talking about. And now, get ready for Jenny, founder of Swing and Sparrow Tarot, designer of the Le Beau Monde Regency Romance Tarot deck, and ultimate Tom Hardy-loving thirst witch. Oh, and make sure to keep a lookout on our social media, because Jenny is doing a very generous giveaway of a tarot deck. All right, here we go. Jenny!
Yay!
Hello!
Hi.
HBs who are listening, if you are still there, we are here with Jenny. You will know her from such things as amazing tarot cards, Swing and Sparrow Tarot. You probably helped fund her Kickstarter.
Probably.
You probably did, because HBs rule the world.
They really did.
You may know her from many amazing things that she posts in the cult. I know what they might recognize you from. Many posts about Tom Hardy.
I was just going to say that. I was like, if you've seen a Tom Hardy post on the cult, it's most likely me. And if it wasn't, I'm going to be real mad. Because those posts are mine.
Could you give me a high-low on how many Tom Hardy gifs and pictures you have on your phone at any point in time?
So like...
Double digits?
Oh, yeah.
Triple digits?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like
all right, so it's like a moderate.
It's like a 30 to 50 kind of range. Look, I need a lot of different gifts for different emotions.
He's versatile.
He's very emotive.
He's got a very versatile face.
He does.
Jenny, how long have you been reading romance?
Oh gosh. I was trying to think about this. I think I was probably young.
I know. I feel like everybody I've talked to, it's like, oh, I was like 12, 11.
Yeah, I think I was 12.
I started to read and then I read romance.
Yeah. I think I was about 12. Yeah, about 12 when I first started reading romance. But I didn't really really start reading it until like I was probably about 15, because my grandmother lived with us, and I would just like steal her Harlequin Presents.
Heck yeah.
And I don't remember any of them, but I know that's what they were, because I remember like the white cover with like the red banner at the top.
Oh yeah, that's like I think Harlequin still does the white banner or red banner.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, these are the ones that have like the very like oval on
like a cameo, vignette type of situation.
Exactly. Yeah, they were definitely like 70s, 80s, like maybe some 90s, but I think they were mostly like they were real old
school. Yeah,
those real problematic ones.
Wasn't even thinking about writing books.
It's true.
I'm sure there's some real problematic stuff in there. I feel like, did you just post about what you're trying to figure out what your first romance was? Was that you?
It wasn't my first romance, but it was just like this book that I think was a romance, but I don't remember what happened, so I don't remember if there was a happily ever after or not. But it was like it was a weird historical book, because I know there was like some inheritance going on. There was some, there's some moors somewhere people were wandering on.
Moors. Oh, I was thinking about like the cultural group, the Moors. I was like, whoa, this was some diversity back in the day. I get it. Yeah, Moors, like Highland Moors. Yep. Yes. I think they're spelled the same, right?
I think so.
Maybe.
So I am trying to look for that, because it was like this hardcover book that I stole from my grandmother, and but it had no cover on it, because it was like a hardcover, so the jacket was gone, and I had it at my parents' house for like years and years and years, and I think it was probably a couple of years ago, I was like, Mom, I'm trying to find this book. And I was like, where are all my books? And she was like, what books? And I was like, all of my books.
Yeah. Why do you need to know?
she was like, well, any books I kept for you are the ones that I thought you would want. And they're in the Rubbermaid bins that are in your garage.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh shit. because there's definitely that's definitely not in those Rubbermaid bins. So there's a lot of Hanson.
Someone had to go through and check these books for content before they tossed them out. Or it was like my mom, who literally just went through with like a supermarket sweep and just swept everything into bins and just like threw them in the garbage, which was what happened at my house.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was just like, it was probably like with all the Archie comics, and she was just like, done.
Yeah. You don't need these anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You've grown out of them.
Yeah.
Are you mostly historical when you read right now?
No. Like it's like probably a 50-50 mix of like historical contemporary. I think I posted a while ago, like I have actually never finished a paranormal book.
Excuse me. Well, I guess, what do you consider
like
the Laura Thalassa books? Is that paranormal? Is it fantasy?
Yeah, well, I haven't read the Suki Stackhouse books. I haven't read any like books with vampires. I haven't read like anything with like werewolves. Well, I've tried. I read one. I'm not going to say what it is because a lot of people like it, so I don't want to slag it. But
it was Taming the Huntress, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I didn't read that one because after I listened to the podcast, I was like, I like this book, but I didn't actually read it yet.
That happens to me too. Actually, I think there was one. I think I hadn't read, don't tell Blair, I hadn't read Hating Game before I started listening to the podcast, and I actually stopped listening to go and like devour and read it. And then I started back because I was like, I don't want to spoil this. It sounds really good. And I think there's been another book that was like that, or maybe there was a book that I went back and read later, even though it was totally spoiled. But like, I have such a Swiss cheese, like, it is a sieve. Like, I could read a book and then 3 months later be like, what's this book? And then get halfway through and be like, I think I've read this.
Yeah, actually, that happened to me with, they did an episode of it. It was the one where it's like Thanksgiving. And he has like a teenage daughter.
Yeah.
And I have
it was her Halloween treat series, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. And I read that book like 3 times, and every single time I forget that I've read it, and then I started, I'm like, I love this book, it's so good. And then I get like 3/4 of the way through, and I'm like, I think this is gonna happen.
This is familiar.
I think this might happen. I think I know what this is gonna happen. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I read this book already.
I did the same thing. I tried to read that book. It was the one with the grumpy farmer. I read that book 2 times, and I was like, oh wait, I think like Goodreads was like, way to read this book again. And I was like, wait, what? I've read this before?
Was that the one where she's like in marketing?
Didn't know what chickens were? Yeah.
Is that her mom's name was like Miffy or Muffy or something?
Something, I don't know. I think so.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Muffy.
I can't even remember what it is. That's the problem. Is like, because I never remember titles, and I read on my Kindle, so I don't look at covers very often. Yeah. So it's like, if you don't know the title and you don't know what the cover looks like, how do you identify a book until you start reading it?
Exactly. I know. I read exclusively on my Kindle.
Me too, almost.
I have like maybe a handful of books since like I started reading romance, but most of them are on my Kindle just because I have like this really bad habit of buying a lot of books.
Yes.
And this way I don't need to buy bookshelves and have my husband be like, another one.
But why? I have a hard time with things that are paper, like with from like the paper usage aspect of it. So for me, buying books is very hard. But when I went to the Ripped Bodice, I was like, I need to support this business. So I bought like 6 books and I've read 0 of those books. They're just sitting on my nightstand, like just waiting for the day when electricity goes out and you can't charge anything. Like, if the apocalypse happens, I will have 6 books to read.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So at least I'll have something to do.
Perfect.
Oh, well, don't gift me any paperbacks, anybody. I read 99% mine because Van she was my exchange partner and the book exchange last year, and she bought me some paperbacks, and so I read 99% mine on paperback, and I actually really enjoyed the experience, but not enough to buy more paperbacks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way.
So how did you find the cult? Or well, not the cult because that obviously came later, but how did you find Heaving Bosoms?
Actually, I was looking for a podcast on like writing romance.
Oh, okay.
And I just like put the keywords into
the keywords heaving bosoms.
No, the keywords romance writing into like the podcast app on my iPhone, and I don't know. It was one of the things that popped up, and I was like, heaving bosoms. That sounds funny. And then the first episode I listened to, I don't even remember what the book was, but I remember it was the episode where Erin finally admits she's a Slytherin. And I was like, I love, because
she was like masking as a Gryffindor for a while or something, wasn't she?
I feel like she just really didn't want to admit that she was, but then finally she did, and it was that episode.
Oh, how far we've come.
I know. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I love this. I totally relate to that. And then, yeah, that was it. Then I just started listening to all of them. I listened to the first few that came before that, and then I just sort of caught up from there.
Yeah, I had started with one of the Penny Reed episodes, and then like I remember being like catching up, and nothing is worse like when you're reading a series or watching a show or listening to a fucking podcast, and all of a sudden you're like, I've listened to all the new episodes.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
What do I do now? Like, am I stuck?
Yeah.
And so then I went back and started listening, and I still do that a little bit every once in a while. Like, I'll go back and listen to favorites because I've tried listening to other podcasts, well, of any type, not some romance and stuff like that. And I just, I feel like I can't make the brain commitment to trying new things.
Okay. Yeah. No, I absolutely 100% feel you on that, because I literally only listen to 2 other podcasts, and they are.
What do you listen to?
Mine. I listen to the Wildly Tarot podcast, obviously.
Oh, yes. Me
Esther,
too. I do listen to that every once in a while.
They are amazing.
I have very little podcast time.
And I listen to the Wicked Wallflowers Club.
Oh,
Jenny and Sarah. So, yeah. So only people who are my friends.
Are you friends with them?
Yeah, well, Jenny helped me with my Kickstarter campaign for the tarot cards. She was like amazing and super like a cheerleader and awesome, and just like got me in on Twitter and got people to like check it out. And I'm pretty sure like she's the reason that like Sarah McLean and Tessa Dare own copies of my tarot deck. So because I know for a fact she texted them and was like, you need to look at this right now.
You need to do this. Yeah. Look at this. It's important.
The fact that Tessa Dare, her very first tarot deck ever is mine. I mean,
it was my first tarot deck too. I'm equally as important as Tessa Dare.
You definitely are.
No, I'm not. Do not even try.
You are.
Tessa Dare is a treasure. So is Sarah McLean. I can't handle it. So let's talk about tarot, because it's one of those things. I think you always are like. I think my first experience ever even hearing about tarot was in Now and Then.
Yeah, me too.
And you're like, oh wow. Everybody that does tarot is Janine Garofalo in that character.
She is who I strive to be. Really.
Yes. I just want to give zero shits as much as Janine Garofalo gives zero shits. Like in every character, I'm pretty sure like in her whole life, like don't even come at her with anything.
It's so true.
And so when did after you obviously saw it in Now and Then, like how did that start for you?
So I saw it in Now and Then, and I don't even know, it was like the summer whenever that movie came out that summer. And me and my best friend were like obsessed. We were obsessed. It was tarot cards and Devon Sawa.
The two go hand in hand.
They really do. So then we were like super into like seances and all that stuff. And then for Christmas that year, my mom bought me a deck of tarot cards. And I had them for a long time, like all the way into high school.
And did you use them actively, like at that time in your life, or you just kind of had them and they were like at the back of your mind?
I had them, and we'd play with them like once in a while. We'd pull them out like at sleepovers and stuff.
Heck
but,
yeah!
Like,
read my cards, Jenny.
Yeah, and like we had like a Ouija board and stuff. So that was kind of I had them like, you know, and I didn't really use them when I was in after high school. I didn't really use them. I mean, like I didn't not intentionally use them. I just got busy with
absolutely
life and drinking for the first time. And,
I understand.
You know.
I was there for you in solidarity. Yes, making poor life decisions.
Yes, exactly.
Every weekend, maybe sometimes weekdays,
basically Thursdays. So then, but I still had them, and then they survived the Archie comic culling.
Well, good.
Hopefully,
they were a gift after all.
Yeah, exactly. So she saved them for me, and then I think I don't really know when I started to get back into them, but then I kind of just always like had tarot cards, and my sister was into it, and you know, astrology and stuff like that, and. And I had like tarot apps on my phone, or like, you know, you'd sign up for those like newsletters that send you like your tarot card of the day or whatever.
And you better share them, or you're gonna have bad luck for 10 years.
Right. Well, no, not quite like that. It was like you're intentionally signing up to the website. But you're right. Yeah. Like some of them are like those old newsletters. Yeah. Remember those like chain letters from the? Oh,
absolutely, I do. Because I was very involved in AOL when that first came out. Yeah. And that I feel like was like the staple part of AOL. Sending chain letters to people and being like, you better fucking forward this on.
Exactly.
It's been going for 15 years. Keep it going.
Right.
Something like that.
Exactly. You're right. Don't be the one to break the chain.
Yeah, exactly. And part of you's like, I really don't know if I could be the one to break the chain. Like, this has been going for so long. I better just pressure. Do it. Yeah.
Exactly. I know. And we're just like sending our addresses to like random fucking strangers.
And now if you send me a Facebook message with one of those, I'm immediately blocking you. Like, that's just where my life's at now. I don't have time for your bad luck.
That, and also like, hey, let me tell you about this product that I saw.
Oh yeah, no, goodbye. Unless it's tarot cards, I'm not interested.
Yeah, so I have always kind of been interested in them. But then when I started listening to Heaving Bosoms, and then I joined the friendship cult, and that's when I met Holly. And Holly had mentioned something about her podcast and her podcast group. So I joined that, and I started listening to it more, and that was sort of how I got back into it, like actively.
Yeah, pretty heavily, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like to tell people that the entire endeavor that has changed my life in ways that will be still unexplainable to me was a joke. and when I say was a joke, I mean I sent it to her as a joke, being like, wouldn't this make a great tarot card? Ha ha ha. Yeah. And she was like, yes.
Yeah, but it would though.
It would.
I'm buying it from you whenever
it's
for
now.
sale. Yeah.
And then
what are you waiting for?
You're right. And then I was like, and then I had posted it on her group being like, hey guys, what do you think about this? And then everyone seemed to be really into it. And I was like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll look into this a bit more. And then I started doing research, and I started collecting all the images and doing like a lot of research to find out if they wwere like public domain or not, because it was
that's really tricky. It is really hard.
It was really, really hard. I went on so I looked in, because I'm from Canada, so I looked in the Canadian what to do about that. I looked in the US one, I looked in the UK one because they were from the UK. I even emailed I think it was the Intellectual Property Office. I was like, look,
hello.
How do I, like, what do I do? How do I figure this out? And their response was, you need to ask the creator. And I was like, is that a joke? Because he's been dead since 1836. So, like, is because it's tarot cards? You think I'm going to contact him, like, through the tarot cards? What are you telling me? She literally had nothing to tell me. So, at
is
that
it
point,
like like how Happy Birthday, the song, is public domain now because it's been so old?
Yeah,
like,
so that's basically what it is. I think it's anything. I think it's 75 years or 79 years or something. But depending on what it is, there's different amounts of time. Because they were published between 1809 and 1829. Like, it's been almost
You're bringing that OG
years.
Regency shit in here.
Yeah. So like, even like, there's nothing. They're public domain. So,
yeah. His relatives can't even find you.
They did.
Through the cards.
Yeah, exactly. Come at me.
Yeah. You're currently haunted. Sorry.
Right. It's fine.
And anyone who buys the deck is currently haunted. Just kidding. I own the deck and I have not been haunted, I don't think, but I think I'd be okay with it if I was.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so that's kind of how I got into tarot.
Can we talk a little bit about the specific deck? Because we talked a little bit about it, but we haven't talked about, like, for the person who doesn't. Well, first of all, are there people out there that don't know what tarot cards are? Can we talk about that really quick?
Yeah. So
I have a tarot deck, but I'm not entirely sure I know what tarot cards are.
I think people think of them as different things. So some people think of them as fortune-telling devices used by psychics, which is true. Some people who believe themselves to be psychic or call themselves psychics use tarot cards in that way. Other people just use them as, like, party games, that kind of thing. Just like it's fun to do at a party or whatever. But for me, I don't want to say it's somewhere in the middle, because I don't believe that they're fortune telling devices. Right. I just feel like they prompt you to look at things in a way that maybe you don't want to see or didn't see, or they basically prompt you for personal development and give you ideas to look at situations that maybe you didn't think about looking at it in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it totally does, because basically whenever you've pulled a card for me, you basically have me think about a specific question or something like that, and then you pull the card and you give a little explanation, and obviously if you are a novice, you kind of use a guide that's in with your deck or something like that, and it kind of gives you some guidance on what that card could mean to your situation, and you have to say, like, okay,
keywords and themes that are sort of standard across this one sort of specific tarot deck that's called the Rider-Waite tarot deck, which is what most tarot cards are based on.
Okay, and so your deck is called what?
So my deck is called Le Beau Monde Tarot. It is fully illustrated using fashion plates from a periodical magazine that was in the Regency called Ackerman's Repository. So basically it came out, I think, bi-weekly or bi-monthly. And it just had drawings of women wearing dresses, and these sort of fashion plates, they called them, set the tone and the style of fashion in the Regency. So a woman would take this periodical to her, what's the word?
Modiste?
Yes, thank you.
Woohoo! Look at that.
You got it. And
I know about stuff.
Yeah, and say, like, hey, I want this. How they actually translated that into an actual dress is
Well, I think that's what made
ridiculous,
Modiste great, right? Is that they knew enough about how to sew and how to drape things that they could look at a picture and be like, I gotta do that, or nah.
Yeah, and they worked with the actual person making the dress, right? So that's why so many Regency romance novels have scenes where they're like at the modiste being like measured and poked and prodded with pins, and
I would I would read a million scenes going to the modiste because I love hearing descriptions of fabric. I love hearing descriptions of dresses. I am very bad at picturing them. Like half the time I'm like, what is that neckline though? But I don't care. Just tell me more about it.
So I took the fashion plates and I had about 250 images that I got. So I just downloaded them all, and then I had to decide how I was going to take these 240 images and make 78 cards.
Yeah.
Which seems like, 248.
I just cut out the ones I don't like.
Nope. No, that doesn't work that way. I have to go on a tangent.
Yeah.
So one of our HBs, Allie, told me to read the book Big Magic. by Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yes.
And I didn't, but I did eventually. And when I read it eventually, she talks about what big magic is. And basically it's like this thing that happens that just sort of, it's almost like things are too easy. Like it just feels like it's supposed to happen because it's happening so easily. Basically, it's like it's what you were meant to do. And that's really kind of what happened with the deck, is because I would be like just literally scrolling through my computer folder of all these pictures and being like, okay, where do I start? And then a card would pop out or a picture would pop out and I'd be like, oh my God, yeah, that's the card. Yeah. And then I'd have to like put it into another folder, and I had folders upon folders upon folders. And and then it just sort of like every time I'd get stuck, I'd message Holly and I'd be like, I can't do this. It's over. I'm done. I can't do it. I can't find this card. I don't know what to do. And then she'd be like, no, just like, she was the best cheerleader. If you ever need cheerleading, just find Holly and she will.
No, absolutely.
She loves cheerleading.
Just from interacting with her just in the cult, she just such a positive influence on everything. You always feel like better when she contributes to the conversation.
Absolutely. And so like I'd be talking to her to be like, no, I can't. It's over. I'm not gonna. Oh wait, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I found it. So it was just like, I did that a couple of times. I was like, there's no way I will find a picture to match this card. It's not going to happen. And then I found it and I was like, God damn it.
Well, you and I have talked a little bit before about like trusting your gut feelings and basically just not ignoring what your instincts tell you to do, which is a lot about what tarot is in general, is like what your first instinct is when you see a card, or when you're asking a question, go with the question that you first pops into your head, because that's the one you really want to ask.
And also just if you flip over a card and someone says, oh, the energy of this card is this, if whatever pops into your head at the very first instant, it is that. Don't try to think it's something else. It's not.
Or make yourself feel better by explaining,
oh, actually, no, it's probably this thing, because that's not,
it's the other thing.
That's not as scary, or that's not as, and no, it's that thing. But I mean, and I don't want to say that tarot is scary, because I really don't believe it is. Even the worst cards in the deck, and there are some, I won't lie, they have a purpose and in the journey from the beginning of the deck to the end of the deck. So.
Do you have a favorite card?
Ooh, how dare you?
Pick your favorite, child.
How dare you? It's the Queen of Swords. So because that's the card that I feel like most represents me. And it's always one that I loved her from the moment I saw her. She was the perfect card. And I was just like, oh yeah.
I can't remember what it is now. I should have looked it up before we started chatting. But when I first pulled a card out of your deck, it felt like the card that represented me the best. And it was the first card I had ever pulled. And I was like, oh my God, it's me.
What did it look like? Because I mean, I'll know it if you.
Hold on, there's going to be computer clicking. I'm going to look it up because it's on my Instagram. So sorry about the mouse and the keyboard sounds. Hold on, I'm almost there. Here it is.
No problem.
It is the Duchess of Fans.
Yeah.
Complex, independent, perceptive, trustworthy.
Yeah, that's the Queen of Swords.
Oh, hey!
I love it.
Me.
I love it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, now I want to explain, because they're going to be like, well, you just said it was the Queen of Swords, but that was for the novice tarot people. So I'll explain.
I'm one of those, but I know it is the Duchess of Fans.
You know. Yeah. So in a regular tarot deck that I was speaking about before, the Rider-Waite tarot deck, there's 22 major arcana cards, and then there are 4 suits, and the suits are wands, swords, cups, and pentacles. And in my deck, obviously, there's not too many. There's not too many wands
pentacles.
Or pentacles. Definitely no.
I actually don't even know what a pentacle is.
It's just like a 5-point star in a circle.
Oh yeah. Oh no, not a lot of those.
None of those. So I had to sort of basically decide what I wanted the suits to be for my deck, and then I used sort of the elements related to those suits because they all have elements associated with them.
Like one is like more money, right?
Yeah, so there's different sort of like one is more action, one is more physical, one is more emotion, one is more like knowledge, like that kind of stuff. They also have like elemental elements like air, fire, earth, and water.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yep.
Just lost
Captain Planet.
Woo. So basically what I did is I just I associated each of my suits like with those elements. So like the cups is parasols, which is water, and then the candles with the wands, which is fire, and so on and on and on. So yeah, so that's kind of how. And then the suits also for my deck, I use the Tarot de Marseille style of like a pip card, so more like a playing card. Yeah. So it's just the 4 image, or the 4, but it's like whatever number is on the card, it's that number of images on the card, instead of the Rider-Waite deck, which has like actual scenes of people for each of the suits.
Oh,
yeah,
cool. Little like tarot primer.
Tarot 101.
Yeah, just quick. You thought this was Ask a Badass, and it is about tarot.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about other things too. You are more than just tarot cards, Jenny.
Tarot cards and Tom Hardy. I literally know a lot about him.
Do you know more about him than you do about tarot?
I know a lot about him, but I feel like I probably know more about tarot.
But do you have any lady loves that you, besides all this wealth of tarot knowledge and fun witchiness that you just shared with us, do you have any other lady loves that you could pass on?
So I recently threw out all of my makeup.
Yes.
And that's not to say I don't wear makeup anymore, but I actually just threw all of it out, and I was like, I'm starting fresh. And like I threw out the brushes, and I just like got rid of everything that was old. Yeah. Because like I'm such a hoarder when it comes to makeup, because I'm like, I definitely need this and I'll wear it one day. And I never do. Yeah. And so I bought like this little like makeup organizer caddy at
Was it a caboodle?
No.
Oh.
No, it was very
fine.
cheap. It was like at we have the store called Winners, but I think it's called Marshall's or TJ Maxx.
That is my favorite store.
Anyway, so it's one of the I think it's Marshall's. So so I got it. It was like $14.
Yeah.
And but it's like this little like, I don't know, probably 9 inches by like 12 inches, and it's like plexiglass, like plastic, and it just has like all the things for like brushes and makeup pads and like all your stuff.
So you don't use your fingertips, is what you're saying?
No, I invest in brushes.
Okay.
Which is a new thing for me as of this year, because I definitely used to apply foundation with my fingers for like the last 30.
Don't tell
years.
Bethany.
I know. I know. She's probably just like, she just felt a tremor in the forest.
Yeah. This isn't going to be released for like months, and she's going to be like, I've heard you bitches, okay?
Yeah, exactly. I felt it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been so much easier. Our bathroom counter is tidy.
Yeah.
So, which is nice, because that's always an issue when you have a 4-year-old and a husband who works from home, and there's a lot going on. So so it's made things a lot easier, a lot cleaner, and it's kind of nice to just like start fresh, and like there's something to be said for like not using like a 2-year-old mascara.
So I definitely was that person. Like I was like limping it along, like I'll just add a drop of water and it'll be fine. And I went through and I did a similar thing because I'm switching over to eco products in as many places as I can. And so I got rid of a lot of old stuff. And so I have like only 4 things now, but it's like the only 4 things that I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but so that has been a big game changer for me, because it's not just like digging through old eyeliner, pencil shavings, and you know what I mean, like the bottom of your bag. And I got myself a cute makeup bag that has a picture of a dandelion, and it just says "the last of my remaining fucks," and it's just blowing away in the wind.
Oh my god, I love it. That's so amazing.
But yeah, so I totally know what you mean, because it's like a recharge, right?
Yeah,
and you feel
absolutely.
like you look prettier because you're not putting just like bacteria on your face all the time.
It's true.
It's
Also,
crazy.
but I did the same thing, whereas like I really just cut it down as to like what I really needed, and I just invested in like a really good foundation that I liked, that I didn't end up needing I didn't need a powder, and I didn't need I mean, maybe I should have one, but like for me it works fine the way it is. And so I just have like, I don't wear a ton of makeup. I just like foundation, a little bit of cover up, mascara, and like the occasional eyeliner or eyeshadow, sorry. And I just rub off eyeliner, so I've given up entirely on eyeliner. Despite Kat's best efforts.
Sorry, lady. Well, although I am a liquid eyeliner convert. I'm a liquid eyeliner devotee.
I look
it's my life now.
Muhammad Ali put on my eyeliner, so I can't help it. I've tried so many ways. I've tried everything, and I just can't do it. And then also lipstick, which is a new thing
like
for
all
me.
of my minimalistic tendencies in makeup do not apply to lipstick.
Yeah. Yes.
Guess how many lipsticks I have in my bag right now at this moment? 6.
Oh, see, I was gonna say 5.
Okay. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah.
Did you have answers prepared?
No.
Okay. Good.
No, I
We'll
have some like ideas.
Okay. What's your favorite trope?
Oh, it's like a long run-on sentence. Enemies to lovers with a forced proximity fake marriage.
Forced proximity fake marriage. Okay. Yeah, like, hey, we're not friends at all, but we have to do this thing that puts us right next to each other all the time and be fake married. Like, I would read that book.
Yeah.
Do you have a good example of a book that would be that? Because I want to read it right now.
It's in a notebook on my couch.
Okay. Because you're writing it. We haven't talked about your writing yet.
It's fine.
How did we not talk about it? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
There's no. You don't.
I'm teasing. We can. There's nothing done. So,
but you're constantly writing, right?
I'm constantly starting things, and then not finishing them.
Yes, I understand that feel completely.
Yeah. Oh, one day. But I really do. It is my absolute favorite trope, I think. I would say like forced proximity / fake marriage is my ultimate, but I really do love enemies to lovers. Like The Hating Game is like my number one ultimate enemies to lovers book.
Yeah,
so
sure.
good.
I'm trying to think, because I know I've read a few other enemies to lovers that I've really enjoyed, and I think you like it's that tension, right? It's that buildup of tension over this long period of time. Sexual, emotional, whatever, however you want to take
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
We covered this a little bit. What's your Hogwarts house?
Slytherin.
I know that.
If that wasn't apparent.
What is your number one thing about Slytherin house that you think it represents you?
I feel like it's loyalty, which I know maybe people are like, but honestly, Slytherins are very loyal
absolutely
to other Slytherins, and like, I will cut a bitch.
I think it's that difference. Like, Hufflepuffs are loyal and Slytherins are loyal. It's just the way that they show that loyalty is very different, right? But I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who would play you in a movie?
Adie Bryant from SNL.
Oh yeah,
and
love her.
The show Shrill. Yeah.
Yes,
she is awesome.
I love her. Remember that we were talking about this as part of like the Heaving Bosoms podcast? We haven't talked about it in a while. Are you an Aaron or a Melody?
I think I have to be an Aaron, just because I would say that on the whole, I more relate to Aaron's intolerance of things than I do Melody's
open-mindedness.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was gonna say tolerance, but yes, that is exactly it. And also like just some of the things in podcasts that like of their episodes that I've listened to, I'm definitely like, yes in my car, like yelling. So yeah.
Do you have a go-to author?
Yes, depending on like what I think if I'm looking for something like angsty and super intense, it's always 100% Sierra Simone.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
She can write like an angsty book, emotional trauma.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
no other. I actually
It's
couldn't
true.
make it through. It's the president one.
Oh yeah,
American.
yeah. Which one? American Queen or
yeah. I got through the first two. Or the first book and a half.
Yeah, that's
and
okay,
there was a thing that happened, and I was like, I can't do anymore.
Yeah,
it's too much.
Yeah,
Sierra,
so American Prince. Yeah, that one is like broke me in so many ways.
It's so tough, man. And I was like, I can't. I loved every minute of it. The sex was great. Like it just, but I just could not put myself through it, and it's so well written, but it's so angsty.
Yeah, you definitely have to be in like the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I have definitely read those books like multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm a masochist.
Heck yeah.
Well,
sometimes you want to just have that like emotional upheaval in like somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah, for sure. Oh yes,
yeah.
definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I think if I'm looking for just like a good, solid, not necessarily rom-com, but like just like something that's funny but kind of like, you know, it's got some heat to it but it's good, is always Christina Lauren and their beautiful series. I don't love every book as much, but I have like some definite like I will read this till the end of time.
Yeah.
So Beautiful Stranger is like probably my number one.
I haven't read a ton of Christina Lauren. I think I've only read Josh and Hazel.
Oh, that one is good too. I really like there's nothing I don't like by them. So yeah.
Who else was Allie S is a very big Christina Lauren fan.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
What would you Bing Boom Bong?
Oh, I was really trying to like think about this. Like, I mean, it's I don't know what I would like. I mean, I guess like sure tarot, but yeah, I don't know. Like, if I think about like things that would come up, like, I mean,
Bing Boom Bong, Tom Hardy with Jenny.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, that sounds lame. No, it's
like
Tom
someone
Hardy.
tried to come at you with some incorrect Tom Hardy trivia, and you're like, "Excuse me, Bing Boom Bong, Tom Hardy with Jenny."
Yeah, exactly.
That would be appropriate.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is absolutely true.
got a film role incorrect.
Exactly.
Didn't know the title of his mixtape when he was a rapper for a hot second.
Oh, MySpace.
Hey, my husband and I met on MySpace, so you know,
amazing. Like, yeah, I love it.
Donate. Do you bath meal?
No, but I don't have a lot of time for baths.
Yeah,
so,
I hear you. I get you.
Yeah, but like if I do, like I like snacks. So like I love chocolate in the bath.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to drink wine in the bath, but I can't drink wine anymore because I'm allergic to it. Remember we had that conversation.
Yeah, sulfites.
Yeah, so I can't I can't even drink like rosé or white wine anymore either. Like nothing.
Did I tell you about the sulfite-free wine?
I think you did, but
it's a red wine.
I haven't been able to
Our
find
Daily
any.
Red.
Ooh,
and
I'm gonna look
it's sulfite free because my mother-in-law is also allergic. Allergic. Did you hear the T at the end of that? Allergic. She's allergic to it.
Well, it kind of feels that way. But yeah, so I'll drink tea though, or water. But yeah, no, I'm not really a huge like eating in the bath person. Not for like any like particular like, you know.
You're just not committing that much time of your life where you'll get hungry.
Time. No.
Yeah, I understand that feeling.
Yeah.
What's your favorite carb? I feel like you and I talk about food a lot.
It's anything baked with cheese.
Baked with cheese.
Yep.
Oh. Like, give me an example.
Like shortbread made with cheese. Or brie with pastry around it.
Okay.
Or...
And croûte.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, anything with cheese on it. Cheese and like pastry of any kind.
Do you like Parmesan those Parmesan twirls.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Those are like my favorite. I just didn't know what they were called. They're like in the box. There was like this. Yeah.
They're like a twist.
Yeah.
Like a twisty breadstick of like puff pastry with Parmesan cheese in it.
Yeah.
My mouth is watering.
Me too.
If you could dispense anything from your belly button, what would it be?
Oh God. This
not dispense anything. Dispense a condiment. Sorry. I should have been more specific.
This question makes me so nauseous. But so I'm just gonna go like real gross. Easy cheese.
Okay. Yeah.
If people
get in there.
Some people might not know what that is. It's an aerosol can of cheese.
If you don't know what easy cheese is, I don't know why I think this way, but I think you're listening to the wrong podcast.
True.
I feel like the majority of HBs would at least have seen it in a movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or on YouTube.
Yeah.
Someone eating it directly into their mouth.
I cannot do that. So that's more easy cheese from your belly button that I will not take from you. Which that visual is real weird.
I know. So gross.
But like I feel like I have a lot of images of like my dad dispensing easy cheese onto Triscuits from my childhood
God, yeah.
that are just ingrained in my brain.
Yep. Hot dogs. We used to put it on hot dogs.
Whoa. Okay.
Yep.
That's a bold move.
I know.
It's a cheesy dog, but little frothy.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Forever. Okay. Cheese
and no matter what substance it comes in,
exactly.
I need it in my mouth. Great. What's your problematic fave? Yes.
So I have one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about only one because the other one's kind of boring. But
I don't care.
Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah.
He is terrible. But also that new video that just came out of him and Chris Evans talking about their charities. He has like cheekbones, guys. And they are hot.
I think it's because he's starving himself.
I think it's because he's starving himself.
That dude needs to find a carb.
I know,
you know?
But also cheekbones. And he's like got like brown hair now. It's not like that weird ginger hair. And sorry, I love gingers.
No hate.
And yeah, he is very problematic. But in that video, he was pretty cute.
Watching Parks and Rec, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
of course.
Because I love a guy that has like a little more weight to him. You know, a tall person with a little extra weight. That's funny. There it is. That's Natalie's catnip. And that was exactly who he was on that show. And then, how the times have changed. I want you to tell people where to find everything about you that you want to share.
Sure. So you can find me mostly on Instagram. That's where I am. It's Swing.
It's where I live.
That's where I live. Swing N Sparrow Tarot. So
Swing N, the letter N.
The letter N. Swing N Sparrow Tarot on Instagram. You can also find my website, which is www.swingandsparrow.com. And that's pretty much it. I have a Facebook page, but I never update it. So,
and on your website, not only can you buy tarot cards, you can have like a reading done.
That's
a virtual
true.
reading. You can do, Jenny will pull cards for you and kind of guide you through that process. And it's super cool. And you can keep it. Like it'll come to you as a document that you can, it's not like you have to it's not over the phone. She like will send it to you and you can keep it and refer back to it if you need to.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It comes in a PDF document. And basically there's 3 different kinds you can do. There's a reading about, like if you have a tough decision that you want some guidance on. There's a reading for a relationship check-in, so sort of where you and your partner are at. And then I have a custom reading, which basically is we work together to figure out if you have a specific question or are looking for like a general reading or something like that. That kind of that's a little bit more money because it's a little bit more personal and we work together to
right.
get
and you
that
probably
sort of...
don't have a layout just done already for what.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
everyone's is totally different. It just depends what they're looking for. And yeah, so you can find all of those on the website as well.
Yes. And I remembered your last name, so she's Jenny P.
Yes.
in the cult.
Yep.
Because life's hard for my brain sometimes. And when you're under a pressure situation, there's just no telling what's going to happen up there. And then if you were a person that besides because like on Instagram, Jenny does a lot of like daily cards sometimes, or like helpful like hints when pulling cards for yourself and things like that. But do you have any other resources if people want to know more
about tarot? Yeah. Well, I would definitely send them to the Wildly Tarot podcast.
100% co-sign that. It's really fun to listen to.
Yeah, Holly and Esther are super great. Their Facebook group is also really, really great. There's a lot of members and everyone is really willing to help out. You can post questions if you've done a reading for yourself and you're not really sure how to interpret a card in a position. I've never had someone like not answer and be like, hey, have you thought about it this way, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. And it's just like it's a really, really accepting and open community, and they're really, really great. So I would definitely send people to there.
So awesome. Jenny, this has been so great.
It has been so fun.
I have really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me on here and letting me talk about tarot and Tom Hardy.
Well, that's the thing that I love about this opportunity is that I get to learn really cool stuff about people. Sometimes people that I've talked to on the internet a lot and I consider friends, but it's always nice to kind of like speak in person and deepen that connection and then show other people how amazing everybody in this group is, because it's a really cool, diverse group of people, human beings.
Yeah. It is. I'm so excited to like listen to all the other interviews that you've done and that you're gonna do, and I know the ones that you've already done are some of my lady loves. So
it's I hope that everyone is enjoying it as much as I am, because it's been very, very fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So Jenny, keep being a badass and love yourself as much as you love heaving bosoms.
Yay!
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.